For all you people out there who want to be entrepreneurs, just know that it's going to be difficult. For example, right now, I've been promoting my webinar all week, and look at how many participants there are. Yeah, I see that right there. Well, who it is, it's just me. I'm the only one on. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna talk to myself, and then I'll share this on social media. So, I mean, the point I'm driving here is that, it just doesn't happen overnight. It's not easy. It's not a short game. You see all these things on Instagram, hack, 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 hack. There's no hack. There's consistency and time. Like, you've heard that saying, you go to the barbershop enough, you're gonna get a haircut. You're gonna end up getting a haircut. So, you put in your time, you stay consistent, you keep marketing, you promote yourself all the time. It's gonna happen. It's just when. So everybody out there struggling, I feel you. I'm talking to myself for a webinar. So I'm just gonna go over some things I was gonna talk about tonight anyway. It's all about, reverse engineering your goals, kind of accelerating yourself by writing better goals and actually putting meaning behind them. Because goals take time, but if you have the wrong goals or they're not written the right way, it'll take you even longer. And nobody wants that. Nobody wants to fall mistake to that just because we've never been taught. We've never been taught how to write goals. So I'm gonna go into that right now. So let's get into this. I'm pulling up my document. Let's see. So let's see. 9 ways to make your goal setting more effective. I've shared this a lot of times with people because it's very valuable. And I know for me, I definitely didn't know this to start. At first I just didn't have goals. When I was really young, I was just like, whatever, just a kid. I wasn't even thinking about it. But when I was young, I've always had this entrepreneurial type thing. I started a snow blowing business when I was super young. Woke up early, shoveled, made a ton of cash, and it was great. I mean, I'd make like 3, 4, sometimes like $500 in a day. And it was, it wasn't that hard. So I've had that mindset since I was really young. But drinking some tea. But let's start off on number 1 that I didn't do, and that is you've got to write things down, guys. This is because it starts to make your goals feel more real. The reason for this is because when you're writing down these goals, you're actually like consciously thinking about what it is, and you're actually putting it to paper. This is similar to when you take notes in class. I know for me, when I was taking notes, if I typed anything or did it on my phone or whatever, I didn't remember anything. That's just not how my memory works. So I had to write it down, and then before tests, I would think about, okay, what part of the page was that written on? That's how my memory works. But when you write down that goal, you can see it, you can visualize it, which makes it feel more real. And you have to make it feel real so that it has power. Just saying you want things like mindlessly is just words. But once you've got that goal written down, you can go back to it. That's the power of having it written out. Oh yeah, I wrote my goal down in my journal. There it is. I can go back to it. I can revise it. I can edit it, whatever. If you have it in your head, you're like, oh, what did I say again? I wanted to make $10 million by what age and why? So writing it down is key. All right, we'll get into number 2, and that's to visualize. You know, you really got to visualize that goal to make it more effective. Like when you get to this step, you want to think about it in detail and really make it real. For example, one of my goals is to have a mountain house, which is a fine goal, but a lot of people, who cares? But you know, I want to have a mountain house where I can have a bunch of friends up and family and be able to share that with them. And I want this place to be in Silverthorne or near all the mountains, so that I can go share experiences with them. You know, and have game nights and stuff like that. So that's the value behind it. The value behind it is sharing it in experiences and relationships. Just owning a mountain house, in my mind, by myself, lonely, is worthless. So number 3, you got to find your drive towards that goal. Without this, it's unlikely you're going to achieve that goal. So what is your drive? It can be similar to that visualize, but why do you want it? Like, really, why do you want it? You know, I want these things so I can share it with people. You know, I love making people laugh. I love, like, leading groups and making people, or letting people have tons of fun at game nights, and just like getting people like revved up and having a good time. I love that. Other goals could be, you know, you want to leave the world a better place than, you know, when you came, or, you know, you want to outreach and help as many people as you can. There's all these goals, but the greatest motivator through these hard times is going to be that deep drive. And usually, pretty much always, that drive should be external, outside of yourself. I want to help more people. I want to share more. I want to collaborate more, etc., etc. Number 4 is difficult for a lot of people. This is where you commit. And committing, I hear this all the time, like how do you commit? How do you stay motivated? You know, there's ups and downs. There's blah, blah, blah. Of course there's ups and downs. And just earlier today, you know, I'm kind of sick right now, and I was like, oh, I don't want to get on this webinar with no people. You don't want to face your fears, because, you know, everybody's watching an entrepreneur. But, you know, I'm not in this for the 1 month game or the 1 year game. It's like, this is life. Like you'll see me in 10 years with all this wealth. Like I'm not trying to be the 1% of 1% that gets it overnight through going viral or something. I don't think you should be either. You got to be in it for that long game. So, you know, commit to the whole thing, not just when you're in the mood. You know, if I only went to the gym when I was in the mood, I would still be overweight. Because if you guys follow me on Instagram or checked in my photos, I shared a photo of me like about a year ago, and I was like 35, 40 pounds over what I am right now. And I was unhealthy, you know, out of shape. I was living in my parents' basement, blah, blah, blah. I had a bad mindset, is what it is. And if I keep that mindset where I'm only going to do it when it's convenient, well, then you're not going to be successful. Can you imagine Bezos or Elon being like, I only go work on Tesla when it's convenient? It's like, well, that doesn't exist. All right, so down to number 5. When you're writing down this goal, just write it in deep detail. Like as deep as you can. Like just keep going, keep going, keep going. Like maybe for my mountain house example, I say, you know, I want a kitchen with an island that seats 4 people that overlooks Lake Dillon, and I have a great kitchen that has 2 sinks, blah, blah, blah. Like, you get the point, going really in detail so that your brain can actually visualize that and make that a thing. Because once you can actually, excuse me, once you can actually, feel that and get tied towards that success, you can bring that with you through the easier days and the harder days to drive you. So another example I use is I want to go skydiving, and I want to go skydiving this year. So I said I want to go skydiving in May of 2019 at the Mile High Skydiving in Longmont, Colorado, with my friend Joe. You see, that's a lot more real, and actually keeps me accountable. Essentially, I want to do this by this time at this location, etc., etc. The more details, the better. And it makes it harder for you to be like, I'm not committing to that because it's so specific. Number 6, this one is so skewed in society. It's like failure. Oh, you're a failure. You're a failure. It's like, well, there's so many successful people, and how many times did they fail? So many times. So many times. Whether it be somebody who failed in school a ton of times and then became super successful businessman, or got into drugs, or people fail. But what you got to do is learn from it. Failure is good, so embrace those failures so you can make it better. Because you're going to be learning way more in those failures than the successes. I forgot what the exact quote was, but nobody gets their best ideas when they're celebrating in success. They get their best ideas when they're pondering in failure. So I really like that quote. So it's important for us to continually learn over time. We can't just be like, oh, I learned this skill, I'm done, I'm out. I mean, think about how different the internet is just 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and then 50 years ago. Everything was completely different. Like if you don't evolve, you're done. So failure is good. It makes us better. It's important that we embrace failure, and we see it as a stepping stone or a part of the mountain that we're running up, rather than, oh, I'm a failure, I'm done, I'm quitting. Because quitting is the worst. You don't want to quit. You can fail. Learn. And be extremely successful. But if you quit, that's when you failed. Number 7, so many people use this as excuses, and it's all related to their past. I'm too big, I'm too out of shape, I'm not smart enough, I've done too many drugs, I'm past that time in my life, blah, 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 blah. Limiting beliefs, blaming others, etc., etc. And I mean, you are where you are, so you have to accept it. It's like that saying, when's the best time to invest? Well, 20 years ago. Or when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. Well, if not 20 years ago, when's the best time? Right now. So accept where you are. That old you that's holding you back, let it go, so you can actually move forward. I'm really thinking about that one because I know that that's just difficult to look ourselves in the mirror and go, I was that, but I'm not that anymore. So think about that one. Number 8 is intrinsic goals. So, having intrinsic goals is another key to this. If you set external goals, you're almost always doing it for the wrong reason. An external goal would be like, I'm doing this because I want to prove my parents wrong, or I'm doing this to show off to other people that I'm successful, or blah, blah, blah. Instead of focusing on what's really important to you. You could love peanut butter or candles or whatever, and be working a job that you hate, but you would rather, have a nice house, a nice car, and not be able to start your candle company, rather than just living in a shitty apartment with a shitty car and being able to start that company that actually makes you happy, because all these external factors, what are they going to think of me? What is this? What is that? Well, I don't want to live in a trailer park. I don't want to live in a crappy apartment, blah, 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 which could actually make you happy. And then lastly, we have reverse engineering. This is my favorite part of it because it has math in it. Some of you might not like this, but I won't go too much in detail on this, but reverse engineering means breaking down your dreams or goals into smaller sub goals. So the example I use here is, you could want to retire at age 35. And you can say that you want to achieve that goal all that you want, but what's going to get you there? So to start this off, I kind of think, well, how much money do I want to have by age 35 to retire in the way that I would like? Once we have that goal, let's say 20 million, we then have to figure out the number of years we have to make 20 million. So that's 10 years for me, 25. And then we break it down per day. So that's just, kind of the simple math behind getting down to, okay, what would I need to start making per day? Then we need to go into other things like the strategies to get there, how we're going to get that exponential growth, how it's going to start off really slow, grow a little bit, and go exponentially up. So it can also break it into sub goals or daily goals. So I guess another section could be, okay, I need to make $4,000 per day or whatever it is. Okay, well, what is the problem I want to solve? Okay, and then you come up with the problem that you want to solve. Let's say you want to solve social media marketing for small business owners. Well, then you have to figure out, okay, what do I do today, a week from now, a month from now? And actually breaking it down to creating, a social media marketing agency where you could break that down and go, okay, if I want to do that, I need to talk to 3 business owners tomorrow. I need to be running Facebook ads. I need to be calling more business. I need to be knocking on more doors. I need to be training every day, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to have a course on this that goes really into depth on reverse engineering. This is very surface level. It might seem like super easy and simple, but a lot of people miss this stuff. So, for all you entrepreneurs out there, like I said, it's tough, but just keep after it, keep your head down, and most importantly, don't quit.